Good morning. Can you tell us your name, sir?
Darrell Bowers.
Okay. And Darrell, how long have you been in the industry?
I've been in this industry for 33 years.
Okay. Can you have some things have happened to you over the years?
Yes, sir.
You mind explaining to us, Darrell, what's happened to you?
I was in this industry probably around 8 months, and I cut the tips of my fingers off in a fab shop in a steel shear. And let's see, that was early in my career. Then a little bit later in my career, I tore both, well, one at a time, but both my knees have been, I've had surgery on those, torn the meniscus cups in them. And, you know, and just about all of the major accidents that I have had have been at work.
Wow. Now, I remember you telling me when we first met a while back that something major happened to you. If you don't mind, if you still feel comfortable, would you mind telling us what happened to you at that time at work?
In 1996, I was called into work that Saturday night. They wanted to give the crew a break. They had been working 7 days a week for a couple of months, and so they asked me if I would come in and do some welding. The plant wanted the conveyor up and running for Monday morning. So I said yes, and myself and one other guy went in about at 7 o'clock that morning on Sunday morning to set things up. And I had a welding machine, a pull behind, big diesel welder, and I had to run about 200 feet of each, the ground lead and the welding lead, into the plant. Well, once the engineer that we were working for got there, he actually told me to use their bullet welding machine, which was a 480 welding machine, and so I wouldn't have to have but 10 or 12 feet of each welding lead. And I said, well, sure. So we went to the maintenance shop and got it, rolled it out there, and on the wall there was 2 disconnects. One was for the welding machine, one was for a 480 fan. So I asked him, I asked him if I could unplug the fan 480 cord and plug it into the welding machine. He said sure. So that's what I did. And when I did that, you know, years ago they didn't have disconnects on the 480 outlets right at them. They just had, you know, you had to follow it down and go back to the source to find the breakers. So I just, reached over, unplugged the fan, and went to plug the welding machine in. Well, when I went to plug the welding machine into that cord, a part of that 480 plug for the fan stayed on the plug for the fan. It didn't come off of this side like it was supposed to, and when I went to plug it in, I plugged in a hot to a ground and pushed it into the handle, and I had 480 to go through my heart, and it stopped my heart. So I was down for 17 minutes with 3 people giving me CPR. They never could get my heart beating until the ambulance got there, and they shocked me twice at the plant just to get my heart beating again. And then it quit again one more time on the way to the hospital, which was about a 15-minute drive, and they got it back started again. So, that being on Sunday morning, I got to the hospital. They called my wife and my family in North Carolina, and I was in the hospital from that Sunday morning till Friday afternoon is when they let me out. The first 3 days, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I was on a respirator. They were not expecting me to live, and if I did live, I was going to be a vegetable because of the time that I was given CPR for 17 minutes. That's very unusual for someone to come out of that and, live a normal life. It's very unusual. So you know, my mom and my wife were kind of devastated when they told her that, and I had always talked to my wife since I've been in construction all my working life. You know, if something bad happened, I did not want to be left on a respirator or be a vegetable. I'd rather just pass on. So, you know, that was a hard thing for my wife to do, was to make that decision, but she made it that Tuesday morning, and they took me off the respirator, and you know, I've kind of gone from, like I said, I still don't remember that whole week, you know, until Friday morning when I walked out of that hospital. I remember walking out of that roll-up door and getting into our Mustang that we had bought together, me and my wife. And you know, from that day on, I've had some problems, and I was out of work for a little while before I went back to work. But you know, I've had for 2 years I had terrible headaches. I'm talking about headaches that the only thing that would touch it was liquid morphine. And I had to get that from the doctor that I was going to, and then that's another 2 days that I'm out of work because of the headaches. You know, different things would set them off, heat. You know, but after 2 years of it, they started easing up, and you know, to this day, thank the Lord, I don't have those headaches anymore. You know, and I think there was a reason for me to be around, because now I have 2 sons, one's 13, one's 11, you know, and by all odds, I shouldn't be here. So the good Lord had a lot to do with me being here at this time with that accident. You know,
but every time I hear that story, it really, really, really touches my heart. Now, can you say, let's don't put that in context, did that change you? But are you to look at safety now as 2014 versus in the past? What got you to this point that you're so safety conscious now?
Well, it took me a few years to really understand what happened to me, and the things that I see in the industry now. You know, I have those 2 boys that I thank the Lord for every day, and my wife, and they are the main reason that I'm a lot more safety conscious for myself, and making that for myself, it made a difference for my crews to watch over, you know, the people that are working under me, because I don't want them to do or make some of the mistakes that I made coming up in this career. You know, the young crews now have a better grasp of work and how to do the work, and it's a lot easier on the body, the mind, because you're not physically doing everything. You know, you have different options nowadays, and I don't know. I try to remind the younger crowds of, you know, we want you to go home the way you came to work, or better if we can. You know, that's our main goal, and you know, everybody has somebody that they love or they care for or that cares for them. And everybody should think that way. You know, I want to go home and see this person tonight, or next week, the next time you can go see them. And you want to be in good shape, and I want our crews to go home that way.
Good. So what you're trying to say, Dow, I'm hearing what you're saying nicely, is that it's important for that person individually to think of safety, not so much that safety person or their manager. Is that correct?
Yes, everybody should have their own you know, whatever trade they're in, they have tricks of the trades, but there's always safety in every trick of the trade. And every trade that's out in the world, you know, everybody should have a safety conscious mind looking at what they're doing and looking out for your fellow workers, or, you know, even other contractors that are around you, because if they're not working safe, then that might affect your crews working beside them, and could be an incident or an accident because of a miscommunication.
Well, Darryl, we appreciate you spending time with us. Anything else in closing you'd like to say to those who might be listening to this in your field and other fields?
Yes, I would like to say that, I've had a hard construction life and worked for a lot of people that the only thing that mattered was money and getting the job done. You know, I do appreciate now the safety aspect of it. You know, 10 years ago it was hard for me, but now I look at it in a whole different mindset because of things that have happened to me, and I look at what I can prevent from happening to some of the younger generations that we need in this construction world today that's hard to find. We need to look after them. We need to take care of them, and we need to mentor them into having the safety conscience that it took me so long to get.
Well, Darryl, we want to thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you and look forward to working with your crew. We appreciate you, what your company's done and what you've done as a person, and we really appreciate you. We want to say thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you.